Welcome to You Are My Oxford, Season 2, Episode 11, would you believe? Brought to you with Nutmeg, of course, the nostalgic football game from Secret Mode Games.
The free download available on PC now. We're going to reflect on our recent 3 games.
We are. Theo's going to join us as well with some stats from his kitchen.
Matt, your unbeaten run in the John Narbitt game is coming to an end today. All right, I'm sick and tired of officiating over you winning. Today, I'm taking you on and I'm going to beat you.
Yeah, let's see about that. And need. We're going to be looking at Oxford United's Panini stickers of the past.
And Matt, I believe you have a musical hot take coming up.
I do, Dan, I do.
No surprises there.
Can we also just quickly mention we've set up a WhatsApp channel where we'll keep you updated with news from us and links to new episodes and socials, etc. We will not spam you beyond that. We promise that. There's a QR code on screen now, and we'll put a link in our bios on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and the like.
And following on, Matt, from Mark Rule's wonder goal in the last episode, we have another world exclusive video, and I think that's where we should start this episode. So, in the last episode, we were sent Mark Rule's wonder goal at Cambridge, and we showed it to Mark, who hadn't seen it in 20-odd years.
Yeah, that's right. What we didn't mention was we were also sent another goal too at the same time. Another goal that we're pretty confident has never, ever been seen on the internet before.
And this one, although not as good as Mark's, I think will have a lot more meaning for a lot of Oxford United fans, even though it was in a game that we lost.
Well, we've mentioned this before on the pod, but after Joey Beauchamp's death a few years ago, Dan embarked on a mission to find all of Joey's goals and edit them all together. That video has been on YouTube for a few years and has several thousand views. But Dan, it wasn't quite complete, was it? Tell us about the project quickly.
That's right, Matt. It was a real wild ride trying to find all of those goals. I reckon they're probably about 50 or 60 when I started off on the project. And then I just basically went to all sorts of different lengths to try and find the others. We got some from Sky, which was really, really nice. They went into their archive, dug them up and sent them to us, which was lovely. A couple of fans really helped out. They had old VHSs that they went through and uploaded the goals and sent them to me, which was really, really lovely. Even Wycombe Wanderers. They saw our campaign on Twitter to try and find the goals, and they sent us one of them. So the one that Joey scored at Wycombe, they sent to us, which was incredibly kind of them. In his career, Matt, Joey scored 83 goals in total. That was 77 for Oxford, 2 on loan at Swansea right at the start of his career, and 4 for another team we're not mentioning. In all, we found 81 of those goals, but there were two, Matt, that were impossible to find.
I feel a but now coming on.
But now, Matt, we are down to 1 missing goal because incredibly, Joey's goal away at Colchester in the 2000-2001 season has been sent, again, anonymously to us. It was the same person who sent the Mark Rule goal. And for the world's exclusive on the internet, I'm totally delighted to be able to show it to you here on You Are My Oxford. Apologies to those listening, but this is a good reason to give us a watch on YouTube too. Matt, I'm going to play it, and I want you to describe it for our listeners.
Okay, dark evening, the heavy Oxford pitch. The pitch doesn't look great. Who was that playing that through? Was that Phil Gray? And Joey kind of slide rules it past the keeper. Oh, it was a decent finish, actually, past the keeper, maybe even through the keeper's legs, goes away to the celebrating Oxford United fans. Nice little finish, actually. Yeah, I think Oxford fans will enjoy watching that one. Dan, how do you feel seeing this goal? Because that's basically been impossible to find for so long now.
Honestly, I'm really chuffed seeing it, right? When it arrived, I couldn't believe it because this is one of 2 goals I'd just totally and utterly written off ever seeing. But whilst I'm really thrilled to see it, I must admit, there's a little bit of sadness as well. I'm sad because the message that was sent to us was obviously someone who's well connected in the media industry. And they said the other goal that's missing, which is Joey's goal away at Southend the previous season, wasn't ever shown on TV. And therefore, Matt, I think it's never likely to be found.
In that case, I think we need to watch that goal once more. And it's interesting, I guess, thinking about the positioning, Joey must have been playing on the left that day.
Looks like it, doesn't
Decent
it? He's
finish,
cutting
very
corners
decent
and
finish. The
side.
more I see it, I think fans will enjoy watching this one. You actually had a message from our sponsors, Nutmeg, the nostalgic football game, the other day, asking whether we should classify Joey as a left winger or a right winger because they're making him a player in their game, aren't they?
That's right, Matt. And after much deliberation, I suggested he was more of a left-footed right winger. Even though at different stages in his career, he definitely went from one side to the other. He's really good, obviously playing on the right. Probably played more on the right at the start because there's like Simpson and Chrissy Allen as competition for him at the start of his career. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think, Matt? What did you think?
He was, for me, he was an out and out right winger, and the reason being is because we stood on Beach Road. So, whenever the lineup came out, or when the teams came out, we always wanted to see where he was playing because obviously if he was playing down the right wing, he was playing right in front of us, and I just absolutely love that as a fan. So I will always see Joey as a right winger for me.
Well, Nutmeg have sent us their card for him because Nutmeg is like a game where you collect players with cards. And they've put him on the left wing, so they haven't listened to a word that we've said. But, but it doesn't matter because they're sponsoring us.
Absolutely.
So that's all.
Fair play to Nutmeg.
Now, Matt, tell us what you've made of 5 points from 3 games against 2 of the best teams in the league and the Norwich side who are hoping for the new manager bounce.
Well, Dan, thanks for asking, because I'm going to read to you a conversation between me and my dad ahead of that Norwich game. My dad says, huge game tomorrow, and I reply, I would take a draw and then a win on Friday. I think it will be tough against Norwich. They aren't a bad side overnight. They desperately need a win and see us as that opportunity. Draw tonight and win on Friday. That's what I said. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Mystic Matt keeps coming, keeps coming.
Yeah, you are. Well, you're.
Yeah, come to me for all predictions. Should we chat football then? I guess we need to. That's that section of the week. How are you feeling after those 3 games? 5 points, pretty decent.
Well, yeah, honestly, I'm really pleased with it. I'm getting so cross with some of our fans, right? The negativity and the, Rowett's got to go. And we're doing all right. We're doing all right. And we're never going to be any better than this. And I don't want to go on another long rant about, signing new players and hiring and firing. And my point is still the same. I think, this season was always going to be a struggle for us. And we're doing just fine, right? And, we had absolutely stunning performance on Friday. Matt, hard to beat. First of all, that's great, isn't it? It's hard to beat. Weakness is good. That's all we can beat, right?
Absolutely. And the weird thing is, like you're saying just there, it seems we're only like minutes away from absolute disaster. It seems like that's been the theme of the season, and fans are just so quick to kind of, jump on Rowett's back. And earlier in the season, it was very much, now he's signed these players, he's trying to play expansive, and now we've lost the Rowettness. And then suddenly we produce the Rowettness, and everyone's saying, oh, it's boring and we should be hammering teams. Well, we're hard to beat now, Dan, and I will absolutely take that, especially at this stage of the season. Yes, we took the lead against Borough, and it would have been nice to hang on, but 1-1's all right. Norwich, as I say, going away there, I was worried. I know they'd lost every game this season, but they would have said to themselves, right, we need to be beating Oxford, new manager, all that. And Friday night was just absolutely epic. So, we've produced those highs of a match winner against Ipswich, but also we are now difficult to beat, and it's nice to be difficult to beat. And I'm buzzing about 5 points from 3 games.
Luke Harris come in at the Borough game, and he's been performing well. What do you think? Are you happy with him there?
We've discussed throughout the season, but it's a shame we hadn't seen more of him. And maybe he'll get a bit more of a chance now that Brannigan's out. And he looks decent, doesn't he? He puts himself about up there. He's in that kind of area where he can kind of press defenders a bit. He can support attacks. He's obviously got a finish on him, and God, he's got a bite of a tackle on him. Lucky not to get sent off in that Borough game, wasn't he? But, so I like the look of him, and every game all the minutes he's had this season, I've been mightily impressed.
Great to see the other Harris, Mark, score. I must admit, I I couldn't quite understand picking him
It's wild, isn't it?
either of those games, but he's got a goal. And I thought he had a really, really good game on Friday against Ipswich.
But I think a lot of Oxford fans over the last couple of games have gone, oh, actually, no, I do see the value to Mark Harris starting, particularly with now having, I think Rawat's now looking at subs to have an impact. And actually, for a kind of 55-minute striker, like his pressing, you forget, is pretty impressive. And, you know, he really does make defenders work. Now, the argument against him is he hasn't been scoring like for, you know, near enough a season and a half now. So when it did fall to him, you know, when he missed that first chance, I thought, oh, here we go. And then he follows up, and actually a decent finish. It wasn't that easy, and I was really tough for him.
Plaheta, the match winner as well. Another person who gets a lot of stick.
Yeah, honestly, in the East Stand, he was getting so much stick when he came on against Ipswich. But like he's had some really crucial moments in a yellow shirt of scoring kind of match-winning goals and, you know, kind of match-winning moments and incredible goals. And maybe we just need to appreciate him for that. Yes, he's going to drive you crazy at times. You know, is he a 90-minute player who's, you know, going to consistently perform week in, week out? No, maybe not. But putting him into a game like that, and he is a match winner. He clearly won us the game. That first touch and that finish was pretty incredible. And that ball from BDK was different level. And it was lovely to see. And I was really, really chuffed for him.
All in all, I think it's been a really, really good week. Would I have settled for 5 points beforehand? I'd have bitten your arm off.
Well, listeners, I don't know about you, but this is certainly my favourite part of every episode. Theo is joining us from his Stat Kitchen. Theo, we've been talking about the positivity of the last 3 games. So, come on, give us one stat that you've picked up from the last few games that maybe puts a smile on our face.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this will be more of the optimism and more positivity. Those that watched on Sky Sports might have noticed how the pundits pulled up a stat about our record against top half and bottom half teams and how we're picking up more points against the top half. And they were sort of discussing if it might be our approach or our tactics. But actually, I think if you kind of delve underneath those numbers and look at where we're playing the teams, A, it shows how well we're doing at home, and B, there's real cause for optimism given who we're playing in the second half of the season. So excluding the first 3 games, which I'm writing off because I don't think they've got any real relevance to the rest of the season, the average league position of the teams we played at home is 7.9. So really strong, including all of the current top 3. For the away games, the average league position is 14.6 on the current table. So you can see the disparity in the teams we're playing at home and the teams we're playing away, with the away games seemingly easier, but because they're away games, they're harder to pick up points. And the optimism is just looking at our last, I think there's 10 home games that I pulled out. The average current league position is 15th, including home games against Sheffield Wednesday, Blackburn, Norwich, Charlton, who seem to be a bit in free fall. So when we're judging where we are, not only have we had a great week, but when we're judging where we are, I think we've got to remember the home games we've got in the second half of the season that should be good for picking up points.
So positivity there. Thank you, Theo.
Theo, do you have any stats, please, on the John Narbutt game so far? Tell us, using statistical evidence, how has Matt fluked 3 wins in a row?
I mean, the strength of the opposition has maybe been not the highest. John Narbutt, as much as we love him, didn't manage much. And then I nearly challenged Paul Powell, who'd played over 40 games in that season, so showing my lack of knowledge. So maybe today is going to be more of a challenge.
Well, Theo, can we ask a favour? Are you able to stay on and referee what's being dubbed as the big grudge match now in the John Narbutt series in many ways, as Dan makes his long-awaited debut and puts my very impressive unbeaten run to the test?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
The John Narbutt Game with Nutmeg.
So I will choose a season at random and then tell you both what it is. And the season I've chosen is 1991-92. Yeah. Matt and Dan will both write down the player that they think the other player will definitely mention. If Matt says the player Dan has written down, Dan wins, and vice versa. You'll take it in turns to name a player from that season, and you can challenge if you think the player named didn't play that season. Correct challenge wins, incorrect loses. Radio Online is the database and the final answers. As challenger, Dan, have you both written someone down?
Not quite yet. I'm trying to get into Matt's head and think about who he's written down.
I was as well. I was thinking exactly that. And I started writing one name and then I scribbled it out and wrote another. So I'm good to go.
Okay.
All right. So, Dan, as the challenger, you get to choose whether to go first or second.
I'm going to go second, please. Theo.
Ooh, mind games. This is ridiculous. All right. I will go first and I will go with... Oh, who do I go with? Gary Smart. Dan, what are you saying?
I'm going to go Mike Ford.
Okay, no challenge from me there. I am going to go for John Dernan. Oh, Dan's having a little think. No?
I'm going to go Chris Allen.
I'm going to go Andy Melville. No challenge?
No challenge.
Okay. What's that?
I'm gonna
3-3. Go on.
Trevor Alott.
Ephorus. I think he did feature that season, definitely. No challenge from me. Okay, next up, I am going to go Paul Simo Simpson. Theo, what are you making of this?
I'm
From a
gonna go
referee's
Gerald-
perspective, can we have a half-time break?
It's impressive so far.
I'm going to say Gary Bannister.
I think he was definitely there 89, 90. Was he there 99 one? Okay, I'm not going to challenge. And I'm going to go Paul Key.
No!
How did you write Paul Key down? Why did you
I
think
knew you were going to have
him?
to go for goalie at some point.
Only 8
Very
games.
well played. Very well played. That was good. Shall I tell you who I had written down? Do you want to have a guess who I had
Yeah.
written down?
Yeah, go. But no, I don't know. Go on. Joey Beauchamp.
David Penny.
David Penny. Spelt wrong. I think I'd have challenged it on the spelling.
Mate, that was a good game.
A good game, Matt. The unbeaten run is over.
Yeah, that was.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was a bit shell shocked, if I'm honest, because I thought that in some ways I thought that was my best performance to date. So, how was it watching on the sidelines there, Theo?
Yeah, very impressive. There was some big names left that you could have gone for.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there?
Was
Because
it,
I wanted to say Colin Greenall.
No, I'd
I
challenge
think
that.
so.
Would
I don't
you?
think I saw that.
Yeah.
Is it? There's a name at the bottom here. Paul Wanless, 3 games, 3 sub appearances. Is
Oh,
that
really?
the
What,
the
that's-
Paul Wanless?
People one less
Yeah.
of,
I mean,
of friend of the podcast.
Friend
Yeah.
of the pod, yeah.
Yeah, oh God, he started early, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, get
Good
it.
game.
I'm
Good
over the
game.
moon.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Well done, Dan.
Theo, we want to stay on just for a little bit because we think you might be interested in Matt's hot take this week. Matt, shoot.
We need a new song for Oxford United to walk out to. Now, I have nothing against the Fouls, and What Went Down is a decent song, and there's obviously the Oxford link, but it doesn't quite hit the mark. Only in the know home fans get it, and the away fans are completely oblivious to its kind of local connection. So hear me out. I think we're missing a trick. So Liverpool have the Beatles, of course. Manchester has Oasis and the Stone Roses. We, Oxford, have Radiohead. The world is currently in the grip of Radiohead fever. The recent shows are going down as some of the greatest in musical history. The world is in awe of an Oxford export. Bit of a history lesson. Formed in Abingdon, they grew up as a band in Oxfordshire. They played their first gigs in Jericho before going on to conquer the world. You can actually still go to the site of those early gigs, the Jericho Tavern, have a pint underneath the poster that kind of pays homage to those early gigs. So living musical history in our city. They are the single greatest cultural export this region has ever produced. Now, if Cam and the boys were to run out to one of their songs, it would not only be kind of a statement of local pride that says this is our city, this is our club, and this is our sound, but it would be a statement of intent. We are the best. Not only that, but their drummer, Philip Selway, is a massive Oxford United fan. He goes regularly, apparently, posts about the team's fortunes on social media from time to time, has talked about the joy of 1986 in interviews that he's done with musical press. So there's that personal connection to the club too. Now, Oxford is obviously renowned for great music. Supergrass, Ride, Fowls, but Radiohead are our Beatles, and we need to own that as a club. Now, I can almost hear detractors now, and they may say, "Oh, but Radiohead are the masters of a kind of slow burn song. It wouldn't work as walkout music." To that, I say, West Ham have Forever Blowing Bubbles, Everton have Z Cars, and Stoke have frickin' Delilah. I think we'll be okay. Let's not forget, younger fans, we used to walk out to Gary Glitter. Who's Gary Glitter? Look it up. Actually, don't look it up.
Yeah.
Anyway, finally, what song, I hear you ask? Well, take your pick, but maybe we should have a bit of an online vote. But let's go for something big and bold and kind of massive, I say. So I think Karma Police would be great. No Surprises would be epic. High and Dry would work. A discussion for another day, perhaps. But my call to the club today, it's time to embrace Radiohead, to own our culture and show our ambition as a football club.
Absolutely love that. Not a huge musical man myself. I'm not really qualified to have an opinion, but I do know a man who is. Theo, you actually went to watch Radiohead last week. How was it, and do you agree with Matt?
Well, when I say since Tuesday, I've been trying to work out which I want to relive the most, the Wembley Murphy final or the last hour of that Tuesday set. You can tell just how wonderful the evening was.
Was it great?
It was absolutely sensational. They had the whole room in the palm of their hands. However, did I ever feel like I was about to watch a football match?
No.
I'm not saying, but I think your point you make about what these crap songs that the other teams run out to is valid, and none of these Radiohead songs are crap. And the end of Karma Police, they're like, "This is what you get if you mess with us." We could go with that, couldn't we?
You can almost hear the man who looks after the tannoy turning that down, and the fans all singing that. I think it would take a bit of time for fans to get used to it, but I think over time it would really work, and you just almost have to educate fans a bit to make it work. But yeah, so that's what I'm proposing. If you're listening, Mr. Matchday Music Man, please have a think. I don't know, maybe we could start it going into the Christmas games. Maybe it's a New Year thing. Maybe it's the beginning of next season thing. But Oxford should walk out to a Radiohead song.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. So the other interesting news from the past couple of weeks has been there has been a new EFL Panini sticker album released. I've tried Googling when the last time Oxford had a full list of players in an album, and it proved inconclusive, probably going back, Matt, to the 1980s when we were a top division team. Matt, I believe you were telling me you've got a complete set.
Mate, I've had some fun digging round in the backs of wardrobes, up into the loft, all sorts. But I can reveal, and when I came across this, I was like, you know, when you've got something in your mind, you go, I'm sure I've got a completed album, or I've got a completed couple of albums. Went into the loft, unearthed one of these dusty boxes, and I'm going to warn you now, these Panini sticker albums from the mid-80s are not in good nick. But Dan, I opened the pages to Oxford United in 1986, and I have got a complete set. Look at that. It's not in great nick. It's falling apart a bit, and yeah, I probably shouldn't keep it in the loft, but they're all there. Hardwick, Briggs, McDonald, Hebbard, Truick, Charles, Aldo, Langan, Shots, Brocky, the lot. Peter Rosebound, Billy Hamilton. They're all there. And then digging around, and I kept going, and this was just hours of fun. You can imagine my wife was absolutely loving this, bringing these down. But following season, so this is 87, again, not in good nick. Nearly complete, Dan. Nearly complete.
Nearly.
I'm Steve Perryman and a Gary Briggs short of a complete. But you know, I absolutely loved it. Moved on to 88 just very quickly, Dan, and I was obviously either running out of money or lost a bit of interest. Didn't do so well that year.
Yeah.
But we've got Les Phillips there, we've got Trevor Hubbard, Jeremy Charles, Martin Foyle, and
Martin
shots.
Foyle. I
So,
love Martin Foyle.
mate, what an archive. I loved it. Loved it.
Good fun. I'm always stunned, Matt, at how old the players actually look. I just remember because I definitely collected one of those albums, but I definitely remember looking at our players thinking, God, they look really, really, really old. I think we should play a game, Matt. You're going to play a game with us here, aren't you?
I love this. I love this because you're completely right. You look at these stickers, and actually, it's not just Oxford United players. You go through the teams, and it's like, how old are you? So, what I'm going to do, Dan, I'm going to show you a player, and you're going to guess how old they were at the actual time. So, YouTube audiences, you can play along to this too. You'll be able to see it, obviously, with the visuals. Audio listeners, just try and remember what they look like. Yeah. So, Dan, we're going to start with a tricky one. Actually, we're going to start with our keeper, Steve Hardwick, who YouTube listeners you'll be able to see in a photo. How old was Steve Hardwick at the time of this picture being taken?
I mean, he looks quite old, right? So you'd say, looking at him facially, you're saying mid 30s. I think his haircut doesn't help him. It's a real like Steve Davis or bank manager style haircut. Very long over the ears. Makes him look about 36. How old was he?
29. Huh? Wild. All right, moving on. Let's go for Mr. Hardnut himself, our centre back, Gary Briggs. How old was Gary Briggs in this Panini sticker album of 1986?
I love this picture because it looks like he's been told to smile and he can't. All he can think about is like kicking the striker. It just, go on, smile, Gary.
Yeah. Go on.
And yeah, I mean, the moustache doesn't help him. The perm doesn't help him much. I'm going to say he looks about 38.
He looks about 38. He is actually 27 in this photo. Now, next one, my absolute favourite player of the time, Mr. David Langan. David Langan, you see the picture there. Dan, what we saying, David Langan? How old was he?
I mean, he never
taken his photo.
He always looked like he should be playing for a pub team. Like, it's just younger viewers, you probably haven't seen him play, but he was a sensational modern day attacking fullback who had endless energy. But I think part of his charm was he looked like he's about 53. I think having the hairy chest poking out from his V-neck, like, really adds a bit. Modern day players, they'll get it waxed off. You're a waxer, aren't you, Matt?
100%, yeah. No, I'm not.
I mean, he looks like he's 47.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? 28, believe it or not. 28, David Lang in that photo. Now, the next one, I think, is my favourite of all these photos. Because if you've ever watched, was it Harry Enfield, The Scousers? You think John Truitt was one of them. He's definitely come straight out of the barbershop and said, "Can I have a Kevin Keegan perm?" So John Truitt in this photo, again, the moustache as well isn't helping things with aging him. But how old are we saying John Truitt is in this photo?
Again, he looks like kind of Gary Briggs' long-lost brother.
Yeah.
Or maybe not quite hard brother. The moustache really not helping at all, as you say. 34, 35.
28 again. Wild, isn't it? Right, I'm going into my next one quickly because this guy, to me, when he joined Oxford, was in his late 30s. So I don't know, but we're going Billy Hamilton now, okay? Billy Hamilton, striker, partnered Aldridge, had a terrible run with injuries when we got into the top division. How old is Billy Hamilton in this photo?
Again, moustache is doing him no favours again. What this begs another question, Matt. Moustaches are back in fashion now, clearly. Yeah. Do they want to look 10 years older than they actually are? Maybe. Right, I love this picture because it looks like his moustache is actually falling off slightly. It's like he's stuck it on. I am saying Billy Hamilton then looks about 36, 37.
Yeah, I would have thought so. 28 again. 28. Wild. Have we got time for a couple more?
We have,
'Cause
yeah. This is
yeah.
such good
So,
fun.
all right, Jeremy Charles. Jeremy Charles again. The hair is. I mean, it looks like a horse's mane or something. Jeremy Charles. How old? I mean, he looks like he didn't want to be there that day. How old? Jeremy Charles in this photo?
I mean, don't you, it's like they said, "Oh, just smile for the camera, please." And he's gone, "What? What?" And they'd taken the photo at that moment. And obviously, this is before digital photography, so they didn't know how bad it was. But that's a terrible photo of him. Bless him. Nice shadow, nice
Yeah.
yeah, good little kind of what's it called? 5 o'clock shadow going
Yeah,
on.
it's a good looking chap was Jeremy Charles. Not in this photo, but yeah.
Um, I think the hair's making him look like he's 39.
He's a young man in this photo. He's 26. He's 26. Let's move on to our skipper. And again, he'd rummaged around in the disguises box back in the manor and stuck on a moustache as well. And I forget how many moustaches we had in this team.
A lot.
Malcolm Shotton, our skipper, the man who lifted the Milk Cup at Wembley in 1986. How old is Malcolm Shotton in this photo?
I mean, he looks the same age in this photo as he was when he came back to manage us in
Correct.
1997. Then he looked like he was about 60. So in this photo, I'm saying Malcolm Shotton is 50 years old.
Malcolm Shotton, 28 in this photo. I'm going to do one more, and he's our most famous player from this era, possibly our most famous player ever, and that was our striker of the time, John Aldridge. Now, I was very surprised at how old he was in this photo, considering what else he went to do and everything. So John Aldridge in this photo again, a comedy moustache, which it was obviously all the rage in Headington during the mid-1980s. John Aldridge, how old is he in this photo?
Because it's the lack of hair product as well. I think this is obviously causing a few big issues. Big fluffy hair just adds age to you, right? So I am saying John Aldridge, 31 in that photo.
27. 27.
All the same age. Remarkable.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. And all this talk of kind of collecting stickers reminds me that, of course, it's a big part of Nutmeg, the nostalgic football game, of course. In fact, on the free demo that's available to download now, you're actually able to choose the 1986 Oxford United team and manage them, hopefully, to success in the League Cup final. Imagine you could actually be Maurice Evans. In fact, Dan, yeah, why not? One more. How old was Maurice Evans in this picture?
Yeah, very, very difficult to age this man.
Well, yeah, very difficult. But seeing as you've said Shotton 55 or something.
So actually, I know the answer to this. I think it's probably fairer to say that he was 50 years old when this was taken, or maybe 49, which I think is pretty similar to maybe you, for instance, in real life. And
I know, it's scary, isn't it?
I'm going to do some Photoshop magic here and turn you into Maurice Evans.
Oh, just stop it. Stop it. But yes, you're right. Maurice Evans, 50 years old when Oxford won the Milk Cup.
The 80s, Matt, were a tough decade. You sent a message to our WhatsApp channel the other day with highlights of an amazing game against Ipswich from the top division 40 years ago to the day. I asked you if you were there, and you said you were. And not only that, but you had a story too. Matt, this is your chance. Tell us that story.
Cracking game though, isn't it? And I don't know about you, but I watched it a couple of times, and it never gets old. It's such an amazing comeback. But Dan, you're right. I was at this game, but I didn't see all of it, and I will tell you why. So I was 7 at the time, just getting into football properly. Just started playing for Summertown Stars under-8s, and my dad, kind of noticing the passion, wanted to start taking me to live games, and was hearing on the radio that the team from up the hill were doing pretty well, to say the least. But first, I guess he wanted to kind of dip our toe in the match day experience, so to speak. And apparently he'd taken me to a Chelsea game the season before, and I'd absolutely hated it. I started crying because it was all just kind of too noisy and too overwhelming. So my dad had actually worked out, I probably, shouldn't take him to a full game next time. And he got to know the old boy on the gate at the Beach Road. And so what he used to do, he worked out an arrangement with this man to let us in for free for the final 20 or 30 minutes a game, just to say, oh, my young boy's just getting into football, can we bring it? So we used to, in the second half of games, go down Beach Road and just get in for the last 20 minutes or so games. So my first experience of the Manor was my dad taking me for the final parts of these games to kind of see if I enjoyed it and how I got on. And we did this maybe a couple of times the previous season, and then about 5 or so times that season. It was great. I loved it. I was hooked. Anyway, the Ipswich game was one of those. And to this day, I'm not sure if I saw all of those second half goals or just Aldo's hat-trick goal and the Slatter winner, but I was there and I experienced the turnaround. And when I watch it now, which I do from time to time because it's just fantastic and I just love the 80s footage and everything about it, it always makes me smile and it kind of transports me right back to that time. And that is probably the game, if I'm honest, that got me hooked on Oxford United and, just made me fall in love with football because kind of anything was possible. It didn't matter if you were, you were losing 3-0, you could still come back. And I just remember the atmosphere was just absolutely electric. And I remember they were pushing for that winner and it came and it was just amazing. I was kind of hooked. So I'm not sure if it was actually this game but I always pinpoint this game as this is the game when I properly started supporting Oxford United and told my dad I want to go every week.
What a lovely and funny story. We are watching, listeners, we are watching the goals fly in at the moment, all coming from the right wing, all coming from David Lang's crosses by the looks of it.
Slatter.
Neil Slatter there, heading one in. Matt, what a lovely story. You told me to do that in an Alan Partridge voice, but I can't do that.
No, one thing I'm not sure if I saw all those second half goals, and I was looking desperately to see what minutes the goals were scored, because I think Aldo scored his hat-trick in about 15 or so minutes, so but I couldn't find what minutes the goals were scored. So
if you know, leave them in the comments for us. Thank you very much.
So finally, shall we look ahead to the next few games? And they are belters. This is going to be an exciting part of the season. What are you thinking about Blackburn and Swansea away? Obviously, two teams right around us before Preston at home.
If you offered me 5 points right now, Matt, I would bite your arm off again, to be honest. I hope we can beat Preston at home, and I'd be very happy with a couple of away draws. I am gutted that Blackburn is on a Tuesday night. I looked up trains and stuff. There's no train back, and the train fare's like 160 quid at the moment from London. So it's a real shame. I've never been to Blackburn, and it's one of the grounds I really wanted to go to this year. But Tuesday night in December, I don't think it's going to happen for me. But
tough one to get past the misses, that one as well, and the 160 quid train journey, as you say. Yeah, mate, I'm looking forward to it and feeling positive in the last few games. The league table, though, is looking tight, is looking tough, and you need to be holding on at this point. So it's like every game, it's not a must win, of course it's not, but we want to be picking points up from every single one of these three games. And Swansea and Blackburn right around us. Swansea having a bad run as well. So yeah, let's hope we can do it.
Hope so indeed. Thank you, everyone. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be really nice to pick up those points. Matt, lovely, positive way to finish. That's enough for another week. Thanks so much for taking time to listen or to watch. As we mentioned, please join our new WhatsApp group. There's the QR code right there. We promise we won't send lots of messages, and you're not going to get spammed lots on it. Please also follow our socials. Instagram, as looked after by Matt, and we're on Twitter as well, X. We're also on Blue Sky. We're on Facebook, where we've got quite a big community building, and we're huge on TikTok as well. What's your favourite now, Matt? Now that you're embracing,
I'm loving them all. I'm loving them all. I mean, I'm particularly enjoying your Facebook content. Actually, I must say that. So yeah, check it out if you're on Facebook. Check it out. And also, just one final reminder: do download the new demo of Nutmeg because it's a belter of a game and it's out in the new year. Right, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye bye.
The big man with a big goal on the big occasion.